just list for our audience the ways in which you think
I think that's fair to say.
this president has overstepped his constitutional authority?
The attack of the wacko birds.
It is a long list.
You just made the list, buddy.
It is a long list from this president, an Uber president.
You have the rise of an Uber presidency.
Uber president with no respect or little respect for the Constitution itself.
Running out of ammo, the right wing has resorted to blaring its bugle even louder.
I think the ultimate check is elections.
It's not enough to say the president and his people did a lousy job rolling out the historic health care law.
But, I don't think you should be hesitant to speak the word in this room.
No, the screaming you hear now is
A check on executive lawlessness is impeachment.
If a president is ignoring entire categories of the law, just impeach him.
Barack Obama ought to be impeached.
The word that we don't like to say in this committee.
We've also talked about the I word.
We're down to that I word piece.
Impeachment, and I'm not about to utter here in this particular hearing.
Go up there, you just impeach president. Whether it be immigration, marijuana, mandatory minimum, the ACA, you shut everything down. What is the remedy for the legislative branch?
I think the president has decided Congress can't challenge me. They can't control me.
Congress will be left like a Maginot Line on the constitutional landscape.
He will spend money if he decides to.
Thomas, this is our statement here.
He'll tax if he decides to.
I'll read it to you if you'd like.
He'll write regulations if he decides to.
The Growth and Opportunity Project.
And he will defy the Constitution if he decides to.
That's simply not true.
It'll be the American people that have to rise up.
Can I just do an English professor reality check
Please
here?
do.
The term Uber means an outstanding or supreme example of something. So if they're saying he's the Uber president, that's essentially saying like he's the best example
awesome.
of what a president is. And so I hate
maybe
to
we should embrace it. You know what?
I don't know. Maybe we should embrace it, but I at least want to just clarify and define what Uber means. It doesn't mean monarch or taking too much power. It means actually the best example, a supreme example of something. And so if they're saying that Obama is that, that's a little bit Freudian, isn't it?
Well, I do want to sort of do, now that you've done the English professor thing, let's do the history professor thing just a little bit. Because, Crystal, there was this thing during the Bush administration called the unitary executive.
Right.
And this was the idea that was put forward by Dick Cheney and David Addington and their crew, that George W. Bush had to have extraordinary power. He could set aside the Geneva Conventions on things like torture. So is the irony just being missed by Republicans that they used to want George W. Bush to be extraordinarily powerful, and now they don't like President Obama being an Uber, meaning awesome president?
Yeah, they were totally comfortable with President Bush having a wide-ranging executive and far-reaching and, groundbreaking, really, executive power. This president, not so much. But the thing that I find really fascinating, too, and you'll remember it started very early when he started appointing people, and he had the what they were calling green job czars and other things.
Czars, yes.
The czars, that was the initial piece of this. But they vacillate. They can't decide which attack they want to go with. He's either this, supreme dictatorial, heavy-handed leader, or he's totally feckless and he's leading from behind and he's just observing his administration without actually taking part. So they go between these two extremes, basically finding any angle that they possibly can to attack and undermine this president.
Okay, well, James, I feel like we need to now hear from our dictatorial, czarist Uber president. Let's listen to him and hear just how extreme he sounded today.
I've never believed that government can solve every problem, or should, and neither do you. We know that ultimately our strength is grounded in our people, individuals out there striving, working, making things happen. It depends on community, a rich and generous sense of community.
Okay, so James, government can't solve every problem. Individualism and community. Which of those three things is the most dictator-like?
Right, absolutely.
I mean, those are sort of conservative-sounding principles, right?